44 things you can do today to protect yourself against identity theft and other types of cyber crime. Hey everybody, I'm Brandon. This is Home Security Heroes. In this video, we are going to cover a not comprehensive, but hopefully informative and helpful list of 44 things you can do starting today to cover your ass when you are on the internet. We're going to start with protecting your desktop computer. Number one, update your operating system, please. I know it's a pain in the butt. It's annoying. You got to walk away for 5-15 minutes while Windows continually updates, restarts, and shuts down, but you got to do it. Next up, use an antivirus. You see here on the screen a number of logos from companies that offer antivirus protection software, and I'm going to link them up in the video description below. Please make sure you are using some sort of antivirus on your desktop and ideally also on your mobile phone. Speaking of your phone, let's talk about that. If you really want to protect yourself, use an iPhone, not Android. It pains me to say this. I will admit that I actually still use Android. I don't use Apple. I don't particularly resonate with the brand, but their privacy features are way better than those of Android phones. So if you're serious about privacy, seriously consider getting an Apple. Next up, this drives me crazy, lock your phone. Your phone should have some sort of a lock on it. You should only be able to access it with a fingerprint, with facial unlock, with a 6-digit code that you've input. Do not leave your phone unlocked. If somebody steals your phone and it's unlocked, they get unfettered access to everything on your phone, so don't do it. Also consider not using any sensitive financial apps on your phone. Do you really need to be able to check your bank balance on the go? Can you just limit that to using a desktop at home? If you can, that would be the better option. And as I said, with keeping your desktop updated, make sure you update your phone as well. Again, I know it's kind of annoying. Sometimes the battery life drains after an update, but you got to do it. You need to stay up to date. Don't take calls from financial institutions or the IRS on your phone. If somebody from the IRS is calling you and they're saying that you owe money, or if somebody from your bank is calling you and they're saying that there's an issue, what you can do is say, thank you for calling, hang up, and then find the company's number directly on their website and call them there. This ensures that you have the right number. Moving on to web browsers. Now, if you are going to be surfing the information superhighway, consider using a separate web browser for financial activity or other sensitive activity. So you could use, say, Mozilla Firefox for banking when you're accessing things like Schwab or Vanguard or wherever it is that you're banking or have retirement accounts, and then you can use a separate account for browsing the open internet. This helps to silo off your sensitive accounts on a completely different web browser that is used only to access them. Next up, when you're signing up for a new account at any website, don't use real information unless it's necessary. You don't have to input your real date of birth or your mother's real maiden name in most cases. By using spoof or faked information when possible, you are ensuring that only grant third parties access to your real information on a need-to-know basis. And the reality is, if you're signing up for a newsletter, they probably don't need to know your real date of birth or your mother's maiden name. Next up, go through your browser and delete unused plugins periodically. Speaking of plugins, yes, I use them. Yes, you can download them, but download them selectively and make sure when you do, you're downloading them from the official App Store. Moving on to passwords. Here's an annoying security habit that I want you to practice starting today. Make sure you have a unique password for every one of your accounts. This password ideally is at least 12 characters long. It's a combination of upper and lowercase letters, numbers, symbols, etc. There should be no discernible pattern to your password. And when you generate them, next tip, don't write them down in a book. Don't write them on a post-it note that you keep in your desk. Instead, do this. Store your passwords using a password manager. This is such a basic security practice that a lot of people still are not implementing in 2023. It's very easy to use a password manager like Dashlane. There are many of them out there on the market. We're going to link to them in the video description below. But essentially, by using a password manager, you can auto-generate extremely strong passwords, save them all in a vault, and all you have to do is remember one single master password that is used to access this vault. So that's how you get these crazy long passwords that look like gibberish that there's no way you'll possibly remember, but you can use them on a regular basis. Once you get in the habit of generating these strong passwords, also get in the habit of changing them periodically, every 6 or 3 months, depending on the importance of the websites they're being used for. A little bit annoying, yes, but remember, with the help of your handy dandy new password manager, this is going to be a lot easier. Finally, just rely exclusively on your password manager and turn off the saved passwords feature that you can see on the screen here in Chrome or Firefox, Internet Explorer, whatever browser you're using. We don't want that browser to save a memory of your passwords because there's just no point. It's an additional security vulnerability and we're using a password manager, remember? Now, for those of you who are working in public, one tip here is not to use a public computer for anything that would be deemed sensitive. And if you absolutely have to, if you need to access banking in the public library, then go ahead, use incognito and make sure that you are logged out of every single account you've logged into during that session. Even better, however, is just to not do this in the first place. And for those of you who are working in public, if you get up to use the restroom, if you pop up to the counter to get a pastry, make sure you lock your laptop. Do not leave your laptop unlocked, unattended, because the result would be that a thief who comes by not only gets a new computer, but they get access to everything on that computer. So if you're logged into banking, social media accounts, whatever, if you haven't locked it when you've stood up, then that's all potentially accessible by whoever it is that just took your computer. Moving on to social media best practices. 1, don't geotag your home address when you're posting stuff. It might be kind of tempting, I guess, for those of you who want to share this stuff, but nobody needs to know where you live. Next up, don't broadcast your whereabouts in real time. So if you're traveling, I hope you have an awesome summer in Europe, go to Italy, hit the beaches, but you probably don't need to be live streaming that or publishing daily photos to Instagram, leaving a very specific breadcrumb trail of where you are. Broadcasting your whereabouts in real time gives savvy criminals the opportunity to visit your home, which they know for a fact is unattended, while you are sipping cappuccinos in Italy. And consider using a pseudonym and a generic profile pic for sites like Facebook or chat apps like WhatsApp. Again, WhatsApp probably doesn't need your actual picture. It doesn't need your real name. My next tip for those of you spending time on social media, be very skeptical of any contests, any giveaways. These are usually scams. They usually end in pain and suffering. And so be skeptical. And lastly, review your settings on all your social media apps periodically and make sure that you're not sharing any information with the world that you don't want to be. Moving from social media to the world of physical mail, it's kind of a weird transition, but here we are, physical mail, talking about that. If you're traveling, consider putting a hold on any deliveries to your mailbox. And definitely consider getting a mailbox with a lock or just delivering your mail to a PO box rather than to your home address. Additionally, not just because of security, but also because of the environment, you can opt to receive most any important document these days in digital form, not physical form, so I would definitely opt for that. And of course, do get a paper shredder. You want that to destroy any sensitive documents that you're using. Also consider opting out of new credit card offers by using optoutprescreen.com. You can see the URL here on my screen, and doing this is a small but important step towards reducing your risk of identity theft. You can always opt back in too if you want to. For email, consider using different email accounts for different activities, similar to how we're using different browsers for varying levels of sensitive activities. You could also use one email address that's dedicated only to accessing your financial accounts, and then you could use a second one that's used for more general stuff like signing up to the Nordstrom newsletter or whatever. And if you're getting links from financial institutions in your email, probably don't click them. Maybe just go directly to that financial institution's website and then log in and read any notices that you have there. But there's this thing called phishing where people will send you fake PayPal links or fake links from financial institutions. And the goal is to get you to click these links, to input your password, and then that password is then saved by the scammers, the phishers, and they will then use that password, which you've essentially handed over to them by using this fake link, and they'll use that to log into your real world financial account. Moving to Wi-Fi, if you've just moved to a new home or if you've just got a new Wi-Fi service set up, definitely go ahead, change that password. And again, this password should be sort of nasty looking. It should be long, it should have symbols, characters, upper, lowercase, numbers, etc. Next up, never assume that Wi-Fi is safe. If you're using Wi-Fi in a hotel, in a cafe, on 5G, wherever it might be, consider using a VPN for this additional layer of protection. A VPN is not the end-all fix for every security vulnerability out there, but it is a step in the right direction. And yes, it can help encrypt your traffic to give you an additional layer of privacy. If you want to see some of the VPNs that we recommend at Home Security Heroes, go ahead, check the video description below, and we'll have up-to-date exclusive discounts for all of you watching this. Next up, set up two-factor authentication. This video is going to be too long if I go into detail about what exactly 2FA is, but you need to set it up, and I'm going to have a link down below explaining what it is, why it's important, and a few of the most common ways to set up two-factor authentication that you use when logging into important accounts. Now, moving to credit. First off, consider freezing your credit at all of the major credit bureaus. So you're going to see on the screen here, you can call this number for Equifax, this number for Experian, this number for TransUnion. We're going to have all of these listed again in the video description below as well. But if you're not applying for a home loan, if you're not applying for new credit cards, freeze your credit. Also give your FICO score a glance. You can monitor it for free at freecreditscore.com, so definitely sign up there. And also for those of you looking for more robust credit monitoring, consider using a service like Aura. Again, links for updated discounts available in the description below. Moving on to your identity. Again, I would recommend using something like Aura to see where there have been breaches of your personal information in the past, but I understand some of you watching this might be on a budget. You might not want to sign up for identity theft protection service as of today, and that's totally fine. What you can do is go to HaveIBeenPwned.com, input every email address you've ever used, and it's going to show you exactly where breaches have occurred. In our testing, HaveIBeenPwned.com is about 70% accurate as the best identity theft protection software monitoring capabilities out there. So in other words, HaveIBeenPwned will catch about 70% of the breaches that a software like Aura does. So it's not quite as robust as Aura's monitoring is, but it's a good start certainly. So definitely check that out, input your email addresses, see where breaches have occurred, and make sure you change those passwords. If you already have been a victim of identity theft, my heart goes out to you. This absolutely sucks, and I hope some of this information is helpful in helping you to avoid this happening again. Make sure you file a report at identitytheft.gov. And on that note, when you are assessing the legitimacy of a website, usually websites ending in .gov are going to be legitimate. Make sure that they're not tricking you by doing a something.gov.com You can also opt out of robocalls at this website right here. So go ahead, do that, and you will hopefully get fewer spam calls. And this is a big problem. I'm getting multiple ones a day. It drives me nuts. But since inputting my info here, I have started to get fewer calls. So make sure you're opting out of robocalls by adding yourself to the National Do Not Call Registry. Also, you can check out this link here. This is basically a huge list of data brokers. These are sites that traffic in your personal information, and you can use this document and manually go through and request to be removed from these sites. You can also use a software like Aura, which will automatically request removal from many of the sites listed in this document. And for the nuclear option, use Delete Me, link in the video description below, and that's going to send automated opt-out requests to many data brokers out there. So you do have options when it comes to removing your personal information from third-party websites. Next up in the identity section, I guess common sense, but don't put your social security number on billboards like the CEO of LifeLock did once. That turned out not to be such a good idea, surprisingly. When it comes to protecting your family, consider using a parental monitoring software like Circle. That is included for free in every Aura family plan. Talk to your parents, send your parents this video. If your parents are aging, if they're elderly, make sure that they are aware and at least practicing some of these basic security practices because they are the most vulnerable segment of the population. If this video was at all useful to you, consider sharing it. We certainly appreciate that, and we want to expand the reach and awareness of some of the basic precautions that people can be taking to protect themselves and their families against identity theft and the other cybersecurity threats that are out there. So consider giving it a share. We certainly appreciate any likes, any comments. Let us know what we missed. This is not a comprehensive list, and indeed it should be added and expanded to. So let us know in the comments what you think. Let us know what we missed. We'll add it and include it in the next video. And if you want to explore the resources in greater detail, make sure to check the video description below because we will link all of them up. Thank you so much for watching. This is Brandon at Home Security Heroes, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.